sound loading?
Sound speed.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1.
That wasn't together, was it?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. There
Woo!
you go.
That was good.
Ooh.
That was a together
That was
clap.
loud.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to season 2 of In Our Shoes, the podcast club. This is season 2.
This is
Is
season
it?
2. My name is Dasha.
I'm Ella, your hosts, and this is our guest today, Rico Rosetti.
Hi.
If you were watching last season, you may see that our very last episode is just an audio episode that also has Rico on it. The reason that the video format is not there. Do we have to explain any further?
No.
No, just kidding, Rico. There was technical difficulties. But yeah, so you may have heard a little bit from him, and here we have him today for a full hour.
Yeah, I encourage all of our viewers to listen to that episode, because today we're gonna maybe go
Further.
into the conversation, considering what we talked about before. Before we start, I just want to remind everyone and say thank you to everyone who donated last semester. Because of that, we raised some funds, but we do want to ask you to not forget about fundraising. We still have it. Everything is in link below.
Check the link in the description
Awesome.
below.
Yeah, and also check out our Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
So what about starting? And
Yeah.
I know that you have a game.
Oh, we have a little game.
We're going to play a game.
We're gonna play a game today. 2 truths and a lie. Shocked to hear that you've never played 2 truths
I
and a lie
haven't.
before.
I've never played truth. I can't even say it.
2
Two truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie.
Two
You
truths
didn't
and
have
a lie.
it in acting classes?
No.
Really?
No.
It's wild to me. That
I
was
never
like
did acting classes. There's my... No, all right. Anyway, was that the game? No.
2 truths.
No, I've
one
never
lie.
done that game in acting class.
I love it because it makes me like I easily can come up with a lie,
Sure.
but it's hard for me to like find something that I didn't tell to anyone before.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've shared my truths with either of you. My truths.
Well, your true truths.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
2 true truths. Jesus. Okay, who wants to start?
I think you should.
Okay. Thing number 1.
Yeah.
I once saved a man on a paddleboard.
What is paddleboard? I apologize.
It's like a surfboard, but you paddle with it.
And you have, like,
okay.
a-
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have had 5 total surgeries in my life so far. And number 3, I am currently featured in a professional photographer's magazine that is in museums.
I vote for 3 being the lie.
Okay, Rico, hurry.
Not well, you know.
What's your vote?
I think something is there about surgeries. I know that you had a lot, but I think it was not. It's not the right number though. I feel like it was something else, but I'm not sure about that one. But I trust my intuition, so let's say second is a lie.
All right. Do I tell it now, or do you? Like,
Actually, I have a question about
You don't even know how to play
the
the game,
featured
No, we don't. we didn't
Right.
organize this at all.
featured like in a museum. What was that photo shoot about?
I was just out and about, and there was a photographer at
Okay.
a club that I was at.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Oh, so
possible.
it was not in the university.
No.
Okay. Interesting. And what was the first? You saved a man, like you saved his life.
On a
Yeah.
paddleboard.
Where was it?
Well, maybe not. I don't know if he would have died, but I was told that I saved his life.
Saved him from another kilometer of paddling, anyway.
Real.
Well, who said that? Who said that you saved his life?
The paramedics.
Ah.
This was in Colorado. This was in some
Wait, you have water in Colorado?
fishing. We have lakes. We are a landlocked state, but we have lakes. A bunch of lakes. So it's a place in the mountains with the lakes. I don't remember where.
Well, now I'm interested. Well, it sounds too like. I think something about surgeries. I'm gonna stick to my second
Final answer?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Cool.
What museum?
Oh, I don't know the museums.
Right, okay. Go for it. That was just suspense building, folks. Yeah.
The second answer is a lie.
Fuckers.
I have had 4 surgeries.
I knew it was a
And
lot.
you-
All
it was
right.
Oh, you knew.
Well, I knew she about the surgeries because she talked about the surgeries.
Yeah, I
but
did.
So I
Yeah,
just
go
assumed
to.
that was the
That's
number.
why. That's
Yeah.
why.
It's
Because
a cheesy
yeah.
lie. Yeah.
I didn't know. See, I
4
can't come up with a
surgeries.
lie. Opposite of you, I have a hard time.
I feel well. I would ask
Mm-hmm.
what surgeries, but you don't have to.
Surgeries, I can jaw
Okay.
surgery. I had an arm surgery. I had my molar, what are these called? Your wisdom
Your
teeth
teeth.
removed, and then I had appendicitis as my surgery.
So I'm
Okay.
asking
yeah.
in case I remember for the next like.
4 heard. No, but yeah, I really did save a man's. Well, maybe not his life, but he was on this like little bike trail. And like the trail wasn't big enough for people to walk a gurney through, and he fell, and he like his leg was like facing the other way, and me and my friends were just happened to be paddleboarding, and they were like, "Hey, I was
On the bike path?
13." We were
Yeah, it was just like
we
wait,
were
how is
paddleboarding
that?
below. The bike path was
Okay.
like up here, and they were like, "Hey girls, and they were like, can any of you take him back?" And so there was like this drugged up 40-year-old man.
Wow.
We back to back. It took like 3 hours for me to paddleboard him
Wow.
back. It's
Shit.
a wild experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good
that's
for
awesome.
I'm very proud of it. Good for him.
Good for him.
He was like, I should do this more.
Like what
All right.
exactly?
Um,
Almost dying. Interesting experience. Okay, who wants to go? You or me?
I'm gonna pass it, and I'm gonna pass it to you.
Oh, okay.
mhm.
Can I wait? I need to open
She needs
my
to
notes.
check to know which lie is the.
The lie.
Okay. On IMDb, I am connected with Shailene Woodley by only one actor. So, like, we're connected with her. I was emailing with a Phoebe Waller-Bridge agent. And I was in a 21 Pilot music video.
Wait, a 21, say that again?
21
Oh,
Pilot.
21 Pilot music. Okay.
I'm gonna go 21 Pilot music video.
Are you?
I think when they were making, I think when those music videos were like happening,
They're
you were
still
you would've
around,
been
why
too
not?
young.
Yeah, but they were shooting in Kyiv.
And who do you know they're not little? She wasn't a little baby.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
See, what's funny, because when I just took the pictures of the both of you, from one of them, I just thought, man, she looks like Phoebe Bridgers right there for a minute.
But, you see, there is Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, not Phoebe Bridgers. I know, but Phoebe, I was just thinking that.
Phoebe
yeah,
Bridges.
I know.
So that
Right.
was a little bit of intuition, maybe speaking to you.
Maybe so. I think that's the lie, but I'm going to go with that one.
I'm
Number
gonna
2.
stick with my 21 Pilots.
Okay.
I questions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what's your answer, sorry?
The second
Right now?
one. Say the second one again.
I was emailing with a Phoebe Waller-Bridge agent.
I want to know when all of these things happened. So, like, when did you find out about the
Okay.
Shailene Woodley?
About Shailene Woodley, I found out like, I don't know, I would say 1 week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Emailing, I was 2 years ago, and I was in 21 Pilot 2018. No, I don't remember. I really don't want to lie, because I'm about to, like, put myself in a bus. Actually,
You don't
I
want to
care.
lie.
Exactly.
In the game.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would say 2018. It might be 17.
I'm
I
sticking
changed
with
to the
mine.
third one, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Body language. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong. Yeah.
Well, you're right. It's a lie.
Oh, I felt really good about that. Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Alright.
on the other two.
Yeah.
One removed
Yeah,
away
they
from
means
Shailene
nothing.
Woodley. She's the
It's
chick
true.
in Pretty Little Liars, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
Oh.
She is a chick in Divergent
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and Dump Money and
So
Big
sorry,
Little
Shailene
Lies.
Woodley.
She's married. Who the hell is she married to? She's
fantastic.
married to somebody. I
I
can't
don't
remember.
know.
Dude.
Well, you should know.
Why?
don't
Why
know.
would I know who she
I don't
married
know,
to?
because they're all
It's not my
married to
strong
each other.
suit.
It's like Harry Styles or something. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Me? Oh, fuck. All right.
I'm excited.
I saw Michael Jackson in concert. I dropped out of high school. I dated a prostitute for months and months.
This one, he was. That one, he didn't want to share. Absolutely.
For months and months.
But what
Dropped
does
out
it
of high
mean?
school.
For months and months?
For months and months and months. A long
For
time.
a few
Oh!
months, in several months. But
I think it's
Maybe.
truth, Rika.
What was the first one?
I saw
Or-
Michael Jackson.
Oh,
a
you
lie.
saw Michael Jackson in concert.
I dropped out of high school. I
He-
dated a prostitute.
He died
for,
in...
I was in my 40s when he died. You know, yeah. So,
Okay.
I know that.
Oh shit! I mean, hey, round that back.
So no one knows your age?
Right? Yeah.
20s.
20. I was
Late 30s.
I think. Oh wow.
I know that you saw Elvis Presley in his concert.
Oh, there was a story to that.
Yeah.
And somehow Michael Jackson was connected because of the thing.
I don't know if you saw Michael Jackson live.
I think you dropped out of high school for sure. No offense.
Because I'm an idiot.
I just feel like I've definitely heard.
I'm
I
absolutely
actually
an
think
idiot.
this is the least like that might be a lie. Actually.
Damn, that's gonna be sad.
You know what? Okay, when did you see Michael Jackson?
When I see Michael Jackson,
Yeah, like, what
it was after Thriller.
After his death?
It was after his death. Yeah, it was in the 80s. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It was between Thriller. No, it had to be after Bad because there was what the hell's because he sang Bad. Or maybe it wasn't out yet. It was around that time. That's what I know.
Maybe you didn't drop out of high school. I think you dropped out of something though.
Well, we're
I dropped out
not
of life
questioning
a
the
long
third
time
one
ago.
at all. We're
I-
not questioning the third one. Like, we're like, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, third one's definitely true. I'll go with you didn't drop out of high school because I think you dropped out of something else.
Okay. I dropped out of a lot of things, man.
Because how would you receive your undergrad? Can you be a student in undergraduate with like
Without a high school diploma? I have known people who have.
Really?
Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also because like dropped out of high school, then got a weird degree through some
I really don't know.
thing. I
Okay,
don't know. Good ones though. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew. Part of me wants to also
Okay.
say Michael Jackson. But.
Okay,
next week,
I
yeah.
think you dropped out of high school. It's a lie.
Okay. No, I saw Elvis. I never saw Michael Jackson.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I was.
So it's the two dark things that are true
The
in mine,
two
which
dark
is great.
things
yeah.
are true.
Well, I don't
Cool.
think it's that dark.
You want to
Yeah,
tell
I'm
us a
not.
little bit more?
It's just like unique.
Well, yeah. I mean, I dropped out of high school, and then I got my GED, which is the thing you can do. Hey, high school kids, if you're out there, and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, then Anyway, GED.
GED.
Taste, you heard that. So that's that. You really want to ask about the other one, though, don't you? Is the one you want to ask about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. There was okay. Years ago, I was working in this acting studio. Well, studying there and directing some shows down there in the 90s. And there was a woman who came and she was studying there. She looked like Angelina Jolie a little bit, you know. That was her name. But that really wasn't her name anymore because she had joined a cult in California, and her driver's license and her checks had something like love-feeling Circe of the Hills, or something like that was her official legal name. And so we started to hang out a little bit, because naturally. And we all knew that she was, she had claimed to be a dancer, which we all took to mean stripper, but she wasn't. She told me privately, and now I can say it 25 years later, that in fact she wasn't. She was. I said her name, didn't I? Well, fuck me.
We'll bleep that out.
We'll bleep that out. Sure you will.
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley was her name. And so she told me, after we had started, and I'm, well, all right, here we are now anyway. So that was fine.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
Cool
interesting.
stories.
Yeah. I get the
around,
They are
yeah.
cool stories.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Michael Jackson, I knew it. You saw, I
you know,
knew
well,
it.
we didn't choose it.
I was like, well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. That's it. Those are my stories.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool stories.
But you have bachelor degree, right? Or do you? don't?
And a master's, but the bachelor degree. Sure.
Do you have and masters?
Mhm.
Do you have it in acting or yeah?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's as you know, you have the fine arts degree, which are different than a BA.
Yeah.
So I have a BA in theater arts and an MFA in acting. later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't offer a BA here, do we?
We
No.
do. They do actually.
They
I
do?
think they
No,
do.
they don't. He says they don't. No.
I don't
He
think
wanted to
they.
go into the camera.
I
No.
don't think they do.
Huh?
I don't think they do. No.
don't think they do.
They're filmmakers.
They
first
know
of
you
all.
have a crew here. I'm talking to the crew. Hi, crew.
There's a crew here.
Hi,
Crew here.
crew.
Right. But so they're filmmakers. What do they know about anything? But in acting, we don't have a BA, but they may in other departments, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a different degree, but that's what it is, And the MFAs are terminal for what it's worth. There's no PhD to get in performance, So you can go get a PhD and in some other aspect of the craft, but I'm not.
But not of acting.
Right.
Okay, interesting. I actually didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Or dance or painting or any of those
For
kinds
artistic
of
things, there's not like a PhD.
Right. Well, I mean, if you want to study something specially, the history of, Byzantine mosaics or something like that, you can get a PhD, right? Or you want to study, the socio-political origins of the work of,
Good for those people. I'm so happy that opportunity is there.
That's just there for you,
for
right?
people who need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Good luck.
Wild though.
I
Okay.
know.
Work.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes,
Sure.
shall we?
Why not?
It was a long day.
We're
today.
from what?
Long day was today.
Long day was today. Yeah, we have full day of classes
Yeah.
today from 9 to 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now it's like 7, so.
Yeah, and we have our backbone classes today, technique and scene study and act for film.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to talk about some of my blockages that I'm going through at the moment with my craft. So in technique and scene study right now, we have some just kind of interim scenes. We're working on, as a class, working on the same play, the same material. And
Your fourth semester, right?
Yes, fourth semester.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that I'm working with is I'm happy to work with this person.
Shailene Woodley. Yeah, anyway.
It's Shailene Woodley,
Right,
yeah. Shailene Woodley's just at a different level than I am.
Connected
Sure.
with her, okay.
Which is totally fine, and I'm actually really grateful for it because it's giving me a chance to kind of like go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with 1 year in this program under my belt,
Wow. Yes, it is.
1 year, I feel like I have
That's crazy.
been, I don't know, like convoluted into theory. Like I'm thinking about, I'm so removed from being present. And I think that as an actor in like high school acting, that was my absolute strongest thing about myself was, if nothing else, I was present and I was believing that I was living in the circumstances I was living in.
Right.
And so now that I've torn apart all these scripts, now that I know about Meisner and Stanislavski and Stella Adler, and I have all of these different like voices going on, I don't know how to let it all go. So that's what I've been experiencing. And also I've been doing a lot of like internal work. And so I'm feeling a lot of those things combine. Yeah, so that's where my blockage is at right now. Overthinking, I guess, for the first time.
I think that's okay. I mean, I went to grad school with a guy, Shailene Woodley, and he, so I'm going to say from now on.
I love it. I love it.
But he's great. And, he stopped acting, ultimately for his own reasons, and, it's fine. And all he wanted to do was play Chris in All My Sons, the Arthur Miller play. It's really his whole life's goal as an actor. And, he did that because he became a really good actor. And he did it in one of the big theaters, regional theaters somewhere. And he was the guy who came out of business school in our grad program. He'd only done a play or two in a small thing, one in schools, one somewhere else. And he's one of those guys, everything is in order. This goes here, this goes, we're going to do this, I have to know this I have to know. And so he put all the stuff in his head, all the Michael Chekhov stuff. He's got a cupcake floating over his head while he's trying to breathe and do the thing with the Fitzmars and his focus line. He's trying to do everything. He's trying to listen with the Meisner and the actor, and he's doing all that. And it became a long process for him to allow himself to integrate it all and relax at the end. Now, he did. And I guess he became really good, and I wish he were still acting today, but he's not. But
Shout out Shailene Woodley.
Hey. But, it was I had to tell him, and I would tell him, because I have told him, it was a painful process watching him get to that point, and a little sometimes frustrating, because you're like, oh, fucking hell. But we all had our own issues.
Sure.
Everybody has them. For me, it's holding on to things. I'll take in the intellectual stuff, and I was always had the imagination, and I could always give a good, reading of stuff. But there's some part of me, personally, that I held on to that prevented me from doing certain things, clowning, because clowning is a very personal thing. You know, clowning is all about exposing a part of yourself and lampooning it and putting it out there in the world in a way. And because I was so vulnerable with everything else happening, I kind of, without knowing it, kind of refused to do that. And remember, my teacher gave me a B. Everybody else got an A. Well, except for one other guy. Most people got an A. And he said, he wrote, and I got a huge laughs and applause in our little presentation. But he says, you were funny, but you weren't a clown. And that was a valid criticism, because I wasn't exposing some aspect of myself. I was this close to doing it, right? And looking back now, I know what I should have done. And
I feel like it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. I feel like, yeah.
But I think
I don't feel like it's you. Sorry.
No, I understand. No, because I was about to say, I think it is you, because I think you're like me in that way, in that you're going to rely on your ability to outsmart people.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean it, and I just want to say, I didn't mean that story was me. Just in clowning, I had a bad experience.
You
But
did?
Bad experience.
yeah, well, okay, keep the thought, because I
Yeah,
want to know what you were going to say to that. But so when we did clowning, I had felt very comfortable in all of clowning. I think, actually, another strong suit of mine. I don't care if I look stupid. I don't care.
Right.
But the very last exercise was like, you go up there, you're not allowed to say any words, but you have to make everybody laugh. And so all the other exercises leading up to this, I was super comfortable, very proud of what I had brought in. And I go up. I've never frozen so hard. I started like crying pretty much. So for 10 minutes, I was just like...
Aww.
And eventually I like ran around the room. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I ran around there. I don't know, but it was like, I actually felt that's some of my most vulnerable I've ever been.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
So
Yeah,
like for you, being vulnerable is actually being like froze and like not knowing what to do. Cause like, oh no, now I don't know what to do. Now it's like, and for me, being vulnerable is like actually doing that.
Interesting.
Actually being on the other spectrum of like this thing. Yeah. So that was
Cool.
my thought about. No, that's it. Actually,
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I see what you're saying, that like I feel like, how do you phrase it, like about outsmarting things? I feel like it's my personal trait. Like I do intellectualize a lot of things. When I was in therapy back then, not anymore, but whatever.
You
when I
will be
was
again.
there, I hope not. But when I was there, she told me that lady told me that I have this thing as intellectualizing, which is like I'm not allowing my feelings to be exposed, and I know when it's coming from, because I'm very empathetic. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very sensitive person. People who know or knew me closer, they know that I can easily cry or easily laugh, and like I will be good in like next minute. And like right now, I'm fucking secure in it. Like, yeah, it's my trait, so fuck off. But at the same time, when I'm on stage, when I'm talking to like new people, I do intellectualize a lot of things, because it's, for me, as you said, it's more important to come across as like smart and like professional rather than emotional, vulnerable, and open. And like that's why it also interfered with personal life and like my acting, because like when I'm on stage or when we were doing cloning, I was like, okay, no, I really do not want to expose myself, because it's kind of the side that I do not want to show to people, because it felt like every time I did, something went wrong for some reason, and like it felt like every time being vulnerable kind of hurted me. So of course intellectualizing and being outsmart came, like, for me at least, I don't know about you, but for me it came from the point of like, okay, I need to protect myself, and like
No, I understand that. And some part of you, and it's true for most people, watching yourself from out here, you know, a little bit, and watching other people watching you, and that sort of thing. And that's hard, and I think I have less of that now. Ironically, now that I don't act or perform at all anymore, I have far less. Maybe that's why. But
interesting,
yeah. But but there was always that sense of, that, and I think grad school helped do that. The Meisner helped get me through some of that, but it amplified it for a while, because they were throwing all this stuff at me that I hadn't done before. And so, while my classmate I almost said his name, Shailene Woodley, had with the cupcake and the focus line and doing all the stuff and was paralyzed by that. I was paralyzed by the openness responded, the impulse necessary, not being able to think it through, but having to do it now, in the way that they were teaching us to do it. And so, and that took me at least a year to break through to do anything properly. So I think that, and I had already been acting for years. I was old when I went to grad school, so what I'm saying is what you're feeling is entirely normal, I think.
So, Dasha once said something that, it was so simple that it was in class the other day, but we were just going over how we were, and you were just like, I'm feeling stuck right now, and I know that's part of the process, and I know that that's okay. And that's also what I have a hard time with, because when I don't feel like even if I'm not good, I'm at least in it, and I'm at least, like, the type of stuckness I'm feeling right now, I don't feel progress. And if I don't feel progress, I feel like I should quit.
Same. Yeah.
What does what does progress look? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what does progress?
What does progress look like? Progress, I'm okay with things getting worse, and I'm okay with this. What I don't like is when I feel like I'm stagnant. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel stagnant right now.
In what way?
I don't...
What does growth look like?
Okay, wait, which one should I answer?
Both.
Okay.
Whichever order you want.
Okay. Growth, to me... change. I think change has a lot to do with growth. Or I think growth has a lot to do with change. Mm-hmm. Doing something differently. I think I'm doing everything the same that I was doing things a year ago. I think my approach is really similar.
I disagree with that. Well, from this side, I'm sorry.
But that's
value
also.
What you think,
oh, actually, that brings up a good point to kind of tying in where I am with my personal life, which is, what did you just say? I just had it and I lost it.
From this side.
Okay, so I value other people's opinion of myself a lot. Mm-hmm. Where I am, I don't know how good I'm doing unless someone else tells me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work on being good for myself, and if someone disagrees with that, that's fine. If someone agrees with that, that's fine. So with that, now with acting, knowing for myself that I'm an actor, not because other people see me as that, I feel like I don't know how to answer that, I guess. And I don't know.
I think that there are more actors who don't know how to gauge that for themselves. They came up listening for the applause, mm-hmm. right? For the praise from the director who came over and doesn't give too many harsh notes and that sort of thing.
That's true.
Passing the audition. I think acting is a whole series of events that line up on a sort of chart that are all about acceptance of others to some extent. And I think it's hard to do it for you. Mm-hmm. I think there are actors who do, but I think that there are just as many who keep getting back up there because they need that validation. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if that's necessarily, it's not the best thing. You want to do it for yourself. And, mm-hmm. and I think that some part of you can, but I don't think Meryl Streep gives a shit what anybody thinks anymore, right? But I bet she did for a while, and yet even then, she was able to. She was so self-possessed that she was able to cut through that probably pretty quickly. It's a problem for a lot of people, for most people. I don't have a real answer for it except to say that well, some part of your craft is for you, mm-hmm. and some part of your craft is for them, mm-hmm. or for the camera, or whatever it may be. And you have got to know that this little thing that I'm doing, mm-hmm. this thing that I'm personalizing, that breath I just took, that recognition in the other person's eyes that I'm going to allow to affect me looking back at them in a particular way, that's between us. That's for me. That little choice that I just made, they're never going to see that, but I don't care. But the rest of it has got to bring them in. And I think that it's never always going to be entirely for you because it's performative. But how much of it is for you is, at least in maybe somebody else has a more wizened answer to this or a better answer, but that's the way I look at it, is that some part of this is for me. It's a small part, something personal. Something personal is going to read as truth, but it's mine. And when I'm doing something and I'm trying to grow, because growth is, change is what happens anyway, right? And it's not linear, like you said. It goes up and down and does all that. But I do think that Dasha's right, you're not stagnant. In fact, I'll tell you something. Between doing the podcast with you on Christmas, which you will never see.
I'll never see it.
Which you'll never see. But between then, and you and I talked for a second after, and you said, what can I do, right? And I said, well, what are you being so formal for? That's not you. But now, already, since then, this is a different version of you hosting the show. So that's change and growth. The ability, acceptance to just be here and be more of yourself is excellent. So
that's true. And I guess I'm fishing a little bit when I say that I feel stagnant. I don't know. But it's nice to at least start to vocalize these things because, I don't know, like, okay, Logan, we know Logan.
Yeah.
He was our first guest.
Yeah, he was our first guest.
Check it out.
When we were talking for the first time about like super objectives, and I'm bringing it back to us. Logan's super objective is to be the prettiest.
Well, he's halfway there just by walking in the room, right? Right.
He will love it.
And for me, mine is to be the best.
Yeah.
And that's not, doesn't mean I have to be the smartest, or doesn't mean I have to be any of that, but the best. And so I'm working with all that right now, and it's nice to vocalize it. So thanks.
Years ago...
I don't need an answer.
Years ago, there was a teacher, Milton Kitselis, who I studied with a little bit. He came to New York. He's based in
Logan,
LA.
sorry.
Huh?
Just expose Logan, just randomly. Sorry.
Fine. I'm trying to get past it. He'll watch it. It'll go right past it. It's a thing, right?
Yeah. He'll be like,
yeah.
It is.
Names drop.
It's still true, Logan. Shut up. But the this teacher was in LA, but he came to New York for 5-6 months. He was supposed to stay for a few weeks. He stayed for 6 months, and he's a famous teacher. He's one of the guys in the books. I may have talked about him a little bit. I always talk about him because in those 6 months it was a foundational change, right, in my work and the way I thought about things. And I remember him. I may have told your class this story, but. He found academic acting training completely suspect. Right? It was never his bag, and and the Meisner really isn't that way either. So I really didn't have much academic background. So it's amazing I put as much theory into what I teach as I do. But Milton would say, I remember we were all in the little theater, the off-Broadway theater that he rented to teach his classes in New York, and there were Broadway stars and soap opera stars and movie actors and Tony winners, and all these people were in the room, and me. And a couple others, and we're watching, and there's a scene up there with these two actors, and they're actors. Maybe the guy hasn't worked in 6 years, this one hasn't worked in months, whatever, and they're acting, and they're doing this scene. They're a little older than me. They're in their early 30s, these two guys at the time, and they finish the scene, and they sit on the edge of the stage, and Milton's in the chair in the theater, the second row or wherever he is, and he's looking up at them, and he says, "So where are you from?" He says, "Where do you?" He didn't know any of us because it's all he'd, right? He'd been in LA. Here we are in New York. We just all joined the class for different reasons. And he said, "I'm so and so." He said, "Where'd you study?" He said, "Columbia." He says, "Don't worry, we'll beat that out of you." But then he says, he looked at the guy, and I know I've told you this story, but they didn't hear the story.
I didn't know this story.
Well, you're going to hear this story. Yes, you have. And he looked at the guy, and he said, "You have lawyers in your family." And the guy said on the stage, he went, and he says, "You have 3 lawyers in your family." And the guy went, with all 100 of us behind Milton sitting there, and the guy went, "Yeah." He says, "What do you got, a father and 2 brothers or something?" As he's making his coffee over here in his little thing, right? "Father and 2 brothers?" The guy went, my father, my mother, and my older brother, my younger brother's an engineer." Milton went, "Yeah, good. Kill them." And he says, "Kill them. Fucking kill them. I don't mean go home at Thanksgiving and take a knife to everybody while they're sleeping, but you're walking around on stage apologizing because you're not driving a BMW. right back to his coffee. And it's that
love
sense of
that.
needing to be perfect, needing to be the best, needing to achieve because everybody else had, that was stifling this dude's ability to just be in the moment with himself. And that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Taking it in.
Right, now Milton's dead. But the point is,
Aww,
well, yeah.
shout out Milton.
I know. Yeah, he was
Oh.
great. He was, he was an intense dude, but he
can
could
imagine.
pull these, he just looked at you and could pull this stuff out of you. And that's one of the things those great ones can do, But what you just said is a part and parcel with what this guy was struggling with.
No, that
The need
hit.
to be, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll also, for me, because of who I was in high school, I'm not proud of who I was in high school.
Nobody is.
But I
Except
feel like
for
I've
him,
had,
like,
I'm proud of where I am now, and, in order for me and my mom, really, I want to make up for everything that I've done, and I owe a lot. I feel like I'm so afraid of failing, it's crazy. But day by day, by day, by day, I feel better.
No, I just want to say one more thing about this. Because the other thing is too, a little bit of that need to achieve and be perfect. You need some of that because if you don't have some of it, then you're never going to be driven to try to get better and try to succeed in some way. But it's when it overwhelms everything else that's the problem. So you want to find that
balance.
That
I would so much rather have it than not.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's great. It brings one of my other favorite qualities about myself. Is when I come into a room, I may come in late, but I'm going to come in with 100% of my energy.
Yeah, sure.
All of the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy that's there. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
I was just about to say, actually, it just reminded me of a story in Ukrainian film school when I was in Ukraine, in Kyiv, and I went to Ukrainian film school. There was a teacher, I think he's still there, Mich, you know that I'm talking to you. His name is Michael, yeah, I will call him Michael for you, but
sure.
No, I will call him Mich.
Mich.
Sorry, yeah, Mich. And he was a great acting coach for me. He was the first intense person, and by intense I mean someone who would do immediate work with you in the moment he sees you for the first time. What I mean by that is that you would come to him and he would come to you and be like, "What happened with your mom today?" That intense. Intense in terms of he, I don't know if he does, but it feels like he senses your energy. He reads your energy, and he. At that moment, I was not maybe seeing it from the spiritual side. I was seeing it more from intellectualized. I thought that he was the smartest person, and maybe he is. I don't know, but he was also very he was feeling a lot of stuff, and so yeah, he was my coach. He actually helped me a lot with my mental state at that point of time and with my acting at the same time. So once my mom was like, okay, so he has a workshop going on. And I was like, yeah, my mom, you should go. So my mom went. It was 2-day workshop. And she told me this story. I believe that my mom will be fine with me sharing it. So they were the students in this workshop. They stood in the circle and they had to introduce each other by their names, and then repeat each other's names. And no one could remember my mom's name. And as simple as that, he was like, well, you just don't want people to remember you. You just want to be in the shadow. You don't want to show your talents and why and blah blah blah. You should be more open to this world. You should go and say your name as you're proud of it, own it and stuff like that. And it was simple thing, not complicated. It changed my mom's perspective on herself, because for her it was so deep that it literally she sees and views herself from that meeting differently. And I was it just reminded me of your stories. Again, don't apologize for what you're feeling or doing, or it's important for me also to know that, and I know that you and other people in their class, in acting in general, they're apologizing. And Diana, she's our technique and scene study teacher right now. She told us when we were presenting scenes, she told us when you bowing, yeah, that's how you call it at the end. do it proudly. Don't apologize for what you've done. And I was always the one who like, okay, whatever, yeah,
Thank
cool,
you,
cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she said it like, don't be small. You're on stage, don't be small. And yeah, since then I'm like, okay, whatever.
Now you're proud.
Yeah, I did my work. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, there's a lot of that. It's funny because in the university setting, in this setting here, the school is worried about us getting that surgically personal for different reasons. One,
Interesting.
there's a program to deal with, and two, as you know, this school brings in all people, and not everybody is prepared for that kind of instant analysis. And so, in days when some of us have tried to do that, or in the years past, it's had different kinds of effects.
Sure.
And so you're not going to see a lot of that particular kind of thing here, but we can do it in roundabout ways by getting you to get away from yourself, or every now and then, when you guys come to it, and I know you guys are going to be all right, when people come to it, themselves, or start asking questions, then you can start to do it. But there's so many times I'm sitting there and I just see somebody walk up and I have so many things I want to say, and I can't.
So do you think we should just ask our teachers to be like, don't be hard maybe on us, but maybe be, but like,
Well, I think you get consultations with them, ask them privately, and and the
don't
ones you
want to
trust,
be
the
like
better ones, and
Yeah.
or me, and
that's why you're here.
right.
We're exposing ourselves in front of
And
people.
and that's and we'll tell you as best we can,
Yeah.
when
So
things
what
happen.
do you ask though? So, in the past, with a teacher or two, we've had some private one-on-ones, and like I don't know how to approach like, break me down. I'm ready
Well,
for
that's it. Break me down. Not even break me down, but that story right there, that's a good lead in. It's like the way that affected my mom's life, the way that she changed. You could look people in the eye. The way Diana told me to bow and I feel strong, right? I mean, and not everybody's going to have a golden nugget at that moment. Sometimes it presents itself in a bit of the work or in something you're doing, and so you can't really go fishing and expect to walk
Yeah.
away with that, but it is like pearl fishing. Every now and then you open one up and there it is. And I think that
Cool.
that you can ask that question. I have blocks. You're blocked. We just talked about it, and the things I just said about it are true, right? It wasn't revelatory, but it helps. And if you know what you're coming in with and know what you'd like to break free of, people can help you.
Yeah,
And that's, I think, the best way to approach it.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I would love to continue this conversation and go further and further. Let me ask my team about.
5 more minutes.
Oh, so
There you go. 5 minutes.
time passes. I know.
Mhm.
I didn't want to stop it because I enjoyed so much,
Mhm.
and even from this small amount of time, I had a lot of insight and cool
Same.
self realizations.
I feel like I
would say.
talked. Do you?
I feel like I talked like for 10 minutes, honestly. And it feels like I would love to, I don't know, as I said, I just would love to have this conversation on a daily basis.
Guys, we have a reoccurring guest.
We have our
Yeah.
third host.
We have our third host.
Monthly with Rico. What's
Really,
wrong
though?
with you?
What's wrong? We're gonna
That
make
would
a
be
separate
awesome.
podcast titled "What's Wrong with Me?
Yeah.
How can I fix it?"
That's awesome. That's actually, I love that.
Yeah. No, this is good. I don't know. This is gonna be a good year. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy
Yeah.
to be here with you guys.
It feels interesting to start this year. Last year, I was starting with like so much new information.
Yeah.
People, college, teachers,
New York.
language, New York,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
about it was so new. And this year, I'm starting with the same feeling of being like kind of stuck. And I know it's not, but what can I do with my feeling right now, right? So
You're not stuck. You're not everything has to have the same amount of momentum and the same amount of things have to happen. You're here every day, you're learning, and you're taking information in, and you're putting it out. And yes, are there things you can do? Yes, you can get up every day. As students have asked me, I'm not learning enough, what can you give me? Are you getting up every day and doing your speech exercises? Are you breathing on the floor? Are you taking a script to a movie, watching the movie, and starting to break down what choices the actors made in terms of actions as you go along, right? Notating how they shot that scene. Are you reading a play and thinking about the objectives of each character? Are you getting out and walking around and watching people and just trying to figure them out? Are you putting yourself on camera, I mean, you are now, but just, washing the dishes or talking, or something, just to get that thing out of your head? There are a million things every day that you can do, and you should be doing, because those things, the stuff that you don't get the voice and the movement, especially in the speech, those are things you need to be doing every day. And I promise you, if you're breathing and you're open, and I'm not these days, I'm just not, but I'm not doing it every day, and if I were, like you guys should be, all the other things will drop in, because this is the instrument that it all has to be channeled through, and you've got to work on that instrument. If you don't, you will lock up, things will become more resistant, and stuff will come in, but it might not necessarily come out. So I challenge you and everybody watching who's an actor to get up every day and stretch, do your breathing on the floor, and vocalize breathing, read something out loud, do tongue twisters, right? Get your body moving. If you're doing that, and daydream, go let yourself actively daydream on things, Go make yourself sad. Go make yourself angry. Picture things. It didn't happen, but use your imagination, things that could happen. And use your imagination to do that. To build up the instrument so that the things you are learning have a way out. There, that's all I've got.
I love that.
It's my favorite piece of advice. I love it. I
love
asked
it.
you that once before, and I love that.
It
piece
never
of advice.
changes, because that's the advice.
So good. It's so good. There's a
Yeah.
million things you can do in a day to help better yourself.
Yeah.
Why not?
You spend
try to do a
15
few?
minutes on social media. You can spend 15 minutes on yourself.
So real.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely. I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Rico.
Thank
Well,
you,
Thank you.
Rico.
Thank you
I
so
say
much.
thank you. Thank you, Rico.
Thank you, Rico.
No,
you,
it's
Rico.
so wonderful it's always so wonderful to speak with you. So many
You guys
insights
too.
constantly, and
Yeah.
it just time goes by so quickly.
Well,
Thank
it does,
you.
and I miss you guys, and so
Miss
Yeah.
you.
carry on.
Well, we might have each other next semester.
It's possible. You'll be in, I'm like 5th on the list for masks, and for comedy and all that stuff, for styles. But, maybe. And then I'm 10th on the list for Shakespeare around here, just so you know. But maybe by play production time.
Maybe by
We'll try to
production.
talk them into that, whoever's in charge at that point.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my team.
Thank
I
you,
love
everybody.
Thank you.
I know
Grateful
that.
for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And we're usually clap at the end as well.
We do.
So, do you want to clap with us?
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Wow, it's
Cut.
all right.
Woo! Thank you so much.